Matt already take off?
Yeah.
All right, tell Matt thanks for your guys' compliance. You know, like I said, I know why you guys are out here. I know this is not the only place that you go to. I know you'll go to other places. I've seen the videos.
We go to a lot of different places.
Yeah, I know. And like I said, sometimes they don't always, you know, like I said, I just had to feel the complaint from a parent just now because, before I got out here, apparently when they were on her complaint is you guys were allowed to be on the property, but it was before you were told to leave. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So her complaint is that her daughter didn't feel safe, so on and so forth, because you guys are shoving things in their hands. I told her, all I said simply was, look, the school is the complainant. If they want to sign complaints for trespassing, that's fine. But we asked them to leave. They complied. There's no point of pressing the issue because once they got onto the sidewalk, they were within their legal rights of what they were doing. So that's what I told her. But I have a feeling I'm gonna have to field that complaint too. So with the principal, but you guys are fine. Like I said, you guys complied with my request. I appreciate it. So it's all fair and square, right? Stay warm, okay?
Oh, we're used to the cold.
Huh?
We're used to the cold.
I know. I've seen a lot of your videos. I know some of those days have been very, very cold.
Oh, they've been a lot worse than this. I've been out in below zero. This is not too bad compared to some of the days we've been out.
No, this isn't. But like I said, I've been out in some days where I got caught working and I didn't have this jacket. This isn't even a winter jacket. So the bottom line is, believe it or not, I'm out here for your safety as well and make sure you guys are okay.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for me? You guys are packing it up.
I encourage you. That's the card I just gave you.
Yeah, I'm putting it in my pocket.
Check that out. It's called the Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates. Okay. And I know most people in this country are not familiar with that, but they should be, because it says that on the card that the duty of everyone from the president, the governor, to the police officer, yourself, is to when you see tyranny take place, which tyranny is abuse of power entrusted by God to man. And so what we have in the nation is abuse of power, is that the Supreme Court has become the tyrant. And everybody thinks that whatever the Supreme Court says is law of the land, but that's not true. What they issue are opinions, and they're not the final arbiter of what is or what is not constitutional or what is not law.
Right.
And so we need to stop bowing down to them. And when in regards to this Holocaust, to the murder of preborn children, we're bowing down to the Supreme Court. We've been doing that for 46 years. And Christians need to rise up and say, we're not going to, basically, the Supreme Court is not God. They don't get to do whatever they want. And when the Supreme Court or any authority on earth, when they transgress God's law, Christians have to interpose. And the sad thing is that virtually every magistrate, every public servant, everybody in office has complied with the Supreme Court, with Roe v. Wade. They've complied with the Obergefell opinion that brought about homosexual marriage.
He's not taking off on you, is he?
What?
He's not taking off on you, is he?
No.
Is he your ride, or is you guys separate?
No, he's not.
I just want to make sure you're not losing your ride.
Thank you. But that's why we have what's called, it's an oxymoron, but homosexual marriage in our country, and the abortion Holocaust is because Christians, they're just complying with whatever the Supreme Court says. So we need to defy them.
Right. Well, you understand I'm not going to get into a debate or conversation when I'm being recorded.
I'm just trying to educate you on that, because
I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm just not my end of it. I'm not going to say much because I know I'm being recorded. So
I just want to educate, because I educate officers when they come talk to me about that, because they don't. I'm not going to say none of them, but they don't know about this. Okay, and I didn't know about it until a few years ago, but then I realized tyranny is taking place, and then most in office, like you, I'm sure you've heard it many, many times. Hopefully you've never said it. You know, the Supreme Court has ruled, therefore we can only obey. But that's not true. Because back in the 1850s, our neighboring state, Wisconsin, they defied the Supreme Court. The Wisconsin Supreme Court defied the United States Supreme Court over the Federal Fugitive Slave Act. Because they had to. You can study up about that. It was the case of Joshua Glover. He was a slave that escaped. They put him in prison, and Sherman Booth led a group of about 5,000 people to break him out of the jail, and the federal government came after him. But then the state of Wisconsin and the Supreme Court, they rescued him from the federal government.
Right.
They defied the Supreme Court in the 1850s, and that's what we need to do today. Because I encourage you to look up that history. It's
Yeah, I would have to look that up. Cause
yeah, it's
you know what they say, you can't believe everything you see on the internet either.
Oh,
right?
I know. It's look it up. Like Google or YouTube, and it's also on that website.
Okay.
And
I'll take a look.
Because that's what we need to do. Wisconsin and Illinois and every state, we need to do what Wisconsin, follow their example of what they did in the 1850s, and say the Supreme Court, they're not God. They don't get to do whatever they do, what they want to do. There are checks and balances. They need to be held accountable, just like when they transgress God's law. We need to hold them accountable and say, we're not going to obey you. We're going to obey God. And it's not just a thing of, well, I don't like that law, so I'm going to defy it. No, it's whatever opposes God's law, and in our culture, whatever opposes God's law and the Constitution, and also whenever something violates someone's rights, their property, or their person harms them, that's when we need to interpose.